Lawson's Finest Liquids is a small artisan brewery located in Warren, Vermont, producing an array of hop-forward ales, specialty maple beers, and unique creations. Sip of Sunshine IPA is brewed by Lawson's Finest Liquids at Two Rose Brewing Company in Stratford, Connecticut. This Loveland-laden India Pale Ale is packed with juicy tropical fruit character, bright floral aromas, and delectable layers of hop flavor. Pour mindfully, inhale deeply, and enjoy a tropical vacation in a glass. Always store cold, enjoy fresh, and stay cool. Thanks for watching the Tapping Out Show. This is Matt.
I'm Jeremy.
And we're going to do another beer I got here from the East Coast from my brother-in-law. Sip of Sunshine IPA.
So when we got the opportunity to get something that wasn't local, I mean, obviously we're going to take it just because, you know, it's a different flavor palette. Everyone has a different take on things. It's kind of cool to see people that are not in the same group together, because as much as people don't realize, a lot of the breweries, especially Southern California and California in general, or just the West Coast, like, they meet with each other. They talk with each other. I mean, they share ideas and everything else.
I actually learned that a lot at the Craft Brewers Conference. I was at the National Craft Brewers Conference, and I met a lot of different brewers. And you know, we've been in business for a long time, and we've been in finance for a long time, and it's pretty cutthroat. Business is a cutthroat industry. America's capitalism, pretty cutthroat place. And the craft brewer community is definitely a community. I definitely got reminded of that this week. You know, everyone seems to want to help each other. They want each other to do well, you know, and collaborations. And you know, just other businesses wouldn't do that just because it's all about money. And, you know, it's good to see that the craft beer community kind of keeps it, they're still keeping it real when it comes to that aspect of business.
And we love the fact that everything's homegrown. We like to see other people do well. We're a big advocate of, you know what, if you got someone near you, drink local, drink fresh, drink good stuff. I mean, that's how we're doing it. So
find the local stuff that you like, and you know, stay loyal to them, and you know, help them grow.
So we, like I said, we got this imported out from Connecticut. Sip of Sunshine is something we've actually did have from before, but we did want to tape it just because we thought it was a beer that needed to be shared. So let's start with the color. The color is actually golden. It's a little bit darker than most IPAs in the golden color, but not hazy. I mean, you can see through it. I mean, it's got a little bit of carbonation.
A little carbonated, a little bit of color. You can't actually see on the other side.
I mean, it's got a fruit smell, which is kind of cool. Fruity smell, citrus smell. I mean,
I don't really pick up the lemon, but I do pick up citrus. But I don't, you know.
That could be the hops. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And that's the cool thing about a lot of these IPAs. A lot of the smells that you get are not necessarily what you think it are, like the pine smell, the citrus smell, or even, you know, other things that, like galaxy hops. Like, it's not necessarily any added ingredient. It really is coming from the hops that they brewed it with. So, I mean, even if it has a little lemon in it, I don't smell that. I smell almost grapefruit. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, even though it's good, you know, it's showing lemons on here and everything else, it seems more of a grapefruit citrusy than just typical lemons.
Which is, like I said, typically from just the, you know, the hops they use from the brewing process. But I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it's got a decent amount of carbonation. So only one way to find out if it's good.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, I mean, it's got the bitter taste that most IPAs have, but it's almost kind of tart. I mean, it definitely has a citrus taste to it, and I think it's a mix between the lemon and whatever hops they were using, where you're picking up like the grapefruit-ish, orange kind of taste to it.
Yeah.
They play pretty well together. I wouldn't say that it's overpowering, but it's definitely tart more than it is like, I wouldn't say sour, but it's an interesting take on an IPA because it's not that dry, but yet it still has a really heavy flavor, a dry flavor. Does that make any sense? Like,
yeah, it's not overly dry, but it definitely has a dryness to it, but it's not drying you out in the end, and it's almost a little bit lemony, kind of like the lemonade IPA that we did
Right.
recently. Difference a lot of times with the alcohol, there's not that sugar behind it that you're used to with
maybe
the,
that's what it is. Because I mean, it still has a tart taste to it, but it's also real bitter, but not in a bitter IPA sort of way, but bitter as almost like grapefruit,
yeah,
like that kind of that little bit of a bite to it. That it's not what you expected, but it's not unpleasant. And you know what? This thing says keep cold, and I can see why. Because if this was warm, I almost think the taste of it would be really dramatic.
yeah. It's almost like a soda if you drink it. It's not cold. It's not even gonna taste like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Definitely, when I first tried it, I expected something a little different. It's a little bit more bitter than I expected, and you definitely get that lemon flavor, but it's almost like lemony, and then it kind of goes into a little bit of bitterness.
And that citrus, it's weird because the citrus and the lemon are completely two different tastes. That's what I'm saying. I really think it has a lot to do with the hops that are put in there. Because the citrus flavor, like I said, it's almost grapefruitish. It's kind of on a back end part, but the lemon taste to it is separate. There's beers where you get those layers of flavor, and this is one of those beers where you do get the first part of it is lemon. And then it's bitter, and then it's kind of grapefruitish, but then it's like a dry grapefruit.
And then it kind of fades out into some dryness, which is
typical.
Definitely typical, and I think it's a good IPA.
Oh, I do.
It's a definitely good East Coast IPA. What do you think of rating wise?
You're gonna get a weird rating from me because I'm thinking of, and I know we compare this a lot with IPAs, but when you think of drinking IPAs, I think of warm weather, I think of California, I think of barbecues, beach, whatever. But to me, this is probably about a 4.25 because I could see this being in a cooler, cracking this open if it was cold. I'm talking like ice cold and being really enjoyable to where you wouldn't even think about what we just talked about with the flavor palettes. You just drink it and like, you know what, that's a really good beer. Not a really good IPA, that's a really good beer.
Yeah, it's brewed well, and I can definitely agree on that rating.
Okay, so Tapping Out Show is going to say 4.25 out of 5. So we're going to wrap this up. If you want to email us, it's info@tappingoutshow.com. If you want to hit us up on social media, it's all one word, Tapping Out Show. We're going to finish this up. Sip of sunshine. Cheers.